I can't remember what it was. It was, I think, an elementary training school anyway.
Okay.
And my first morning, and I went to classes, I went to there's an education officer, and I went to him and told him I thought that I was wasting my time because the classes were a little too elementary. And he got in touch with the Air Ministry. And so I stopped going to classes. I said it was a waste of time. And so he got in touch with the Air Ministry to find out what to do with me. And then I was posted to an elementary air observer school at Eastbourne.
Eastbourne. Okay,
Yeah.
so you moved over.
Yeah.
What were you doing in the time when you weren't going to classes? You're in England for the first time. Are you?
Yes, I was. What I did, I wanted to be obviously to do something, and what I was, while I waited on Air Ministry to move to work out what to do with me, I went to the control tower. It was a Polish squadron of Wellington aircraft, and so I went and I, helped out at the air control, talking the pilots down and so on, until the Air Ministry made up my mind. It took about 10 days, I think, and eventually I was posted to Eastbourne.
Did you see your uncle who was there?
Not then, no. He was at Bolton, I was in London.
Okay.
He was in Bolton,
but
in
later
Lancashire.
you'll run into him at some point?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Just wondering if you were, also, so you said you met some Polish people in the squadron.
There was a squadron of Polish Wellingtons in aircraft at Hemsville in Lincolnshire.
And when you went to Eastbourne, did you meet some of the local people and get invited to?
Well,
dinner,
most people were. The hotels had all been taken over by the RAF for air crew cadets, and there weren't very many local. And remember from the south coast towns, which were bombed, a lot of people evacuated. You see, in fact, I know we used to have. I can't remember how long the course lasted. But what we did. And there were very few women about, and there are a lot of men. I mean, all the hotels were taken over by air crew cadets. And I remember there was a farewell party for the course that was leaving, and one that was coming in, and there was a welcoming party. So there was a solemn handing over of girlfriends.
Okay, right. I'll be going, you'll be here, right. And you went there, you were single at the time,
yes,
too.
Yes.
So, okay, so, and certainly wherever there are that many men stationed, some women will ultimately show up.
Yeah.
Did you ever, after your courses and that sort of thing, before you start flying, did you have an opportunity to travel around England, take
Not really,
lessons?
no.
You went straight into...
Well, I went from Eastbourne, I went to, where did I go to? To Cranwell, where I did a wireless course. Lasted, I think, 14 weeks. And from there, I went to Scotland to do a navigator's course.
So more advanced?
Yes, much more advanced. This was the final course before you got onto operations, you got onto a squadron. And that, strangely enough, there was a Trinidad pilot, staff pilot, with navigation. You had to have somebody to fly the airplanes, and called David Rochford, who was, I believe, the last Trinidadian to be killed in the war. Just a few days before it was over, he was killed. But he was a staff pilot at the time at the navigation school, flying Ansons, I think. And that course lasted, I think it must have been 6 months.
So you've had...
And about a year's
over
training.
year.
About a year's training.
Yeah.
About a year's.
Because you had been training down here?
Yes,
you
and
go
then we
out
went,
there,
and we had a year's
couple times
training.
in between. Okay. When you would go into a new training class or a new course or a new setting or something like that, did you look for the Trinidadians?
No.
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 Did they look for you?
No.
There wasn't a sense of...
we were scattered all over England.
So
You see?
you're not,
Yes. Yeah. And as I say, most of the people who went on the same boat with me went to Canada for training.
So immediately you're split up.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm also trying to figure out, I know that there were you know, that you're very much involved with the war, but what did you do for entertainment after your course was over?
But we got a lot of leave, huh?
Yeah.
Once you got on to operations, we got about 10 days leave every 6 weeks. And we went down to London.
And tell me, I know you've been back many times since, but if you can remember some of your impressions when you're first seeing London and you get to at least kick up your heels a little bit so you're not, you know...
We got to know a family of Scottish origin. I can't remember the name. McLaughlin, I think. McLachlan? I can't remember the name exactly. He worked at the Crown Agents, and they more or less took us in. And when we went down to London, that's where we stayed.
Okay. So you had your own family right there then that were moving you in. Well as at some point you must have run into your uncle then too on one of
Yes,
the
yes.
okay.
I went up to he left Bolton. It was in Sheffield.
Okay.
Strangely enough, it's many years later, after the war actually, when I think I was working in the BBC at the time, I had a friend, Irving Wardle, an Englishman, who had just come down to London from Bolton. I knew he was from Bolton. And we became very friendly. Because every Sunday we used to go to a coffee shop in Brompton Road called the Troubadour. And we used to go there on Sundays and read poetry and so on, and people from aspiring actors and whatever. And in fact, one of the people was Richard Harris, the actor. He was one of them who had just come in. Yes, he had just come into London, and he and his wife, Elizabeth, I think, were trying to get into the theatre. And so Irving and I used to go. Irving subsequently became chief drama critic of the London Times. But everybody is, you know, young, everybody trying to break into something in London, you see.
Right.
And Irving and I were very friendly, and it never arose. But his mother was coming down to London, and he had a little party for his mother. And I got talking to her, and she said, Ulric, what's your name? What's it? I said, Ulric Cross. And she said, oh, did you have any family called Henry Cross? I said, yes, my uncle, he practiced in Bolton. She said, yes, we live in Bolton, and he was our family doctor. And Irving and I had never discussed it. It never arose. It's his mother told me that...
the family
yes, you know.
Oh, gosh.
Irving, in fact, came out here. I was chairman of the Beryl McBurney Foundation for the Arts some years ago. And we had, every 2 years, we would try to have a big thing. See, mainly to raise funds. And on one occasion we decided to have a sort of literary seminar at the Hilton. And I was supposed to get the 3 people. We were trying to get Salman Rushdie, Wole Soyinka, and Derek Walcott. 2 of the 3, in fact, won Nobel Prizes for literature. And I had long correspondence with Salman Rushdie. And eventually I tracked him down in Australia. He was in Australia at the time. Through his publishers, I got on to him and we spoke on the telephone, and I was in England at the time. And he agreed to come. This was before Satanic Verses. Yes. But he had won the Booker Prize with Midnight's Children, that's right. And he had also written Shame, which I think was a better book than Midnight's Children. And so he agreed in principle, but the dates didn't gel. And I tried to get Wole Soyinka. It was difficult to get Wole Soyinka. Eventually, I can't say settled for, we got Chinua Achebe. So we got Chinua Achebe, Derek Walcott, and Irving Wardle. Irving came down.